This evening, National Flood Task Force met to ensure all measures are in place to manage the current rainy season. Betafo-Acton man detained for stolen bicycles and unregistered firearm. A pregnant Rose Hall woman was arrested for assault. In the region, climate change to make world sicker, poorer, UN reports. And internationally, fear and anger as Ukrainians ask to seek shelter amid shelling. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Saturday, the National Task Force on Flooding met to ensure that all measures are in place to manage the current rainy season in a proactive manner. The Hydrometeorological Service indicated that the country is currently experiencing the La Nina phase of weather or wet season. However, all systems are operational to ensure the residents are not significantly affected by the rains and inundation. While there has been a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority is working hard to make sure that the impact on households and farmlands is minimal. Farms in Region 2 were destroyed as a result of flooding. The Agricultural Ministry is working with those farmers to resolve the problem. The Civil Defense Commission asserted that they have received reports of affected households along the coast, but drainage machinery in those areas are operational and most of the water has receded. Additionally, community infrastructure improvement project workers are mobilized and are assisting regional authorities in several locations. The Commission is on high alert to work with the regional democratic councils and the neighborhood democratic councils across Guyana if support is needed. Residents can expect continuous rains throughout the new week and are encouraged to remain vigilant and report impacts to the local authorities or the National Emergency Monitoring System on 600 7500 or 226 1114 at any time. While responding to the report of stolen bicycles, ranks of the Guyana Police Force found a stolen bike and more. Here is Dale Jarvis with more details.
Ranks of the Guyana Police Force from the East Coast Division 4C on mobile patrol attending to a report of stolen bicycles in the Betafo-Acton village on the east coast of Demerara seized a firearm and ammunition on February 27, 2022. During the operation, a 22-year-old unemployed male from Paul's Lane in Betafo-Acton was seen riding a bicycle, which the victim correctly identified as being stolen. He was immediately arrested, escorted to the Betafo-Acton police station along with the stolen bicycle. The man was carrying a brown-colored shoulder bag at the time of the arrest. On arrival at the station, the man threw the bag away into the police compound. It was recovered by a rank in his presence. A .38 revolver containing 6 live rounds of ammunition in the chamber and 6 live rounds were in the bag. Asked if he had a license to carry the firearm, he responded no. He was told of the offense, cautioned, to which he remained silent. The firearm was examined and no serial number was found. The firearm and ammunition were photographed, sealed and lodged. The 22-year-old suspect was placed into custody pending charges. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Police in Regional Division Number 10 is investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of an internet technician at Central Amelia's Ward, Linden on Sunday, February 27, 2022. That is 19-year-old Anthony Monroe of Central Amelia's Ward, Mackenzie, Linden. Investigations revealed that the deceased and another colleague, who are both employees of Relink Wireless Internet Service located at Central Amelia's Ward, were at the time tasked with the maintenance of the internet service of a customer. According to the dead man's colleague, Raylan Sandy, the duo was in the process of installing a metal pole, which is about 38 feet in length, into the ground within the proximity of a few electrical lamp pole wires. The pole accidentally touched the electric wires, causing both men to receive electric shocks about their bodies. Monroe was immediately picked up by Sandy and rushed to the Linden Hospital complex, where he was pronounced dead. The body was examined, but no marks of violence were seen. The body of Monroe is presently at the D. Jetsco's funeral parlor awaiting a postmortem examination. 5 suspects are now in police custody, assisting with the investigations into the discovery of over 180 grams of cannabis sativa at the Anai Station checkpoint by police on Sunday, February 27. Reported at around 11 p.m., motor canter GZZ 3963 with the 5 occupants, was stopped and searched at the checkpoint where the cannabis was discovered. The police report further stated that one of the 5 suspects admitted ownership of the bag containing the prohibited substance. However, the driver and the other suspects all were acting suspiciously, hence they were all detained for questioning. Stick around after the break. Wakenham couple are woken by a screaming neighbor as their home burns, and Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit and the Ghana Police Force are working together to keep your communities safe.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoons, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoons Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. A cherished business and home now charred. A Belle Plaine couple on the island of Wakenham was hospitalized after experiencing a surge in their blood pressure as they helplessly watched their home and business burn on the 27th of February. 54-year-old Anil Rambaran and his wife, 52-year-old Chandroti Rambaran, were well known on the island and own several businesses, including a liquor store where their home is above. The couple was at home asleep when they were awoken around 2:30 a.m. by screams of a next-door neighbor. Upon investigation, the couple found smoke emanating from the shop on the lower flat. The husband and wife then fled through the rear entrance and looked on as their home burned. One eyewitness reportedly stated, quote, "We tried our best, but nothing could have been done to save the place. It is sad, but residents did their best," end of quote. It should be noted that Wakenham has no fire station, with the nearest stations located in Anna Regina on the Essequibo mainland and Lenora on Demerara's west coast. Unfortunately, by the time firefighters arrived, the house had been destroyed. However, the firefighters managed to prevent the fire from destroying buildings close by. According to a police investigation, the source of the fire is considered to be electrical, with the premises uninsured. Nevertheless, the couple were later released from the hospital and are currently residing at the home of a relative. Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit and the Guyana Police Force are working together to keep your community safe. Dale Jarvis has more.
Over the past week, officers from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit Special Operations Team conducted several operations within the Georgetown area and successfully seized 2 handguns, a Taurus 9mm pistol with a 10-round magazine, and 138 special revolver. These operations are part of CANU's collaboration with the Guyana Police Force to keep communities safe as a part of the National Safe Country Strategy. CANU would like to thank the general public for their support, as well as the numerous tips they have received from various communities. They will continue to work with you in rooting out narcotics and criminal activities from your respective areas. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. A pregnant businesswoman was arrested for allegedly attacking another woman in the vicinity of Church's restaurant at Rose Hall, Berbice on Thursday, February 24th. 28-year-old Cynthia Hunt of Rose Hall was detained for illegally wounding 23-year-old businesswoman Davy Passad of Clifton Settlement for allegedly having an affair with her husband. According to reports, the incident is a result of ongoing tension between Passad and Hunt. However, on Thursday, the problem escalated when Hunt attacked Passad. Police said Hunt approached Passad while she was waiting on her food order and slashed her face with a sharp object and escaped. A cashier at the outlet then assisted Passad and offered her napkins to stop the bleeding. The young woman then sought medical attention at the Port Morant Hospital and later reported the matter to the police. Hunt was later arrested and told the police she is currently 4 months pregnant. She has also denied attacking Passad. Investigations are in progress. Don't go away after the break. Fear and anger as Ukrainians asked to seek shelter amid shelling and Ukraine war. Thousands of Ukrainians crossed into Medica, Poland. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate. pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. There are fears from scientists that the conflict in Ukraine will overshadow the release of a climate report that's being called an Atlas of Suffering by the United Nations. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's report on global warming shows the pace and scale of climate impacts are accelerating rapidly and outstripping current actions to address them. Al Jazeera's Nick Clark reports.
The year is just 2 months old. Already, catastrophe in Argentina as a scorching heat wave sparks raging wildfires. Deadly landslides devastate Brazil's historic mountain town of Petrópolis. Events like this, together with ongoing droughts, floods and superstorms, are the new climate normal. And it's only going to get worse unless something is done fast. So says a harrowing climate report that lays out how civilization has accelerated the decline of nature at the expense of humanity and ecosystems. And that adaptation is urgently required, especially in the global south.
This is about building our resilience, being prepared for worse things to come. How can we stop and limit the impacts of climate change that are happening now and will happen further in the future. And so investment in adaptation is sorely needed.
In Glasgow last year, world leaders vowed to scale back on the use of fossil fuels, but in fact, the complete opposite has happened. Emissions are soaring as global demand for energy has increased, with economies bouncing back from the effects of the pandemic. Oil and gas prices have spiraled. Despite promises, banks are investing heavily, particularly in coal.
If we move out of polluting fossil fuels such as coal, oil and gas and into clean renewable energy sources such as wind and solar, we will cut emissions and limit the global temperature rises. And as I said, that gives chance for adaptation measures to work.
With the world rightly focused on the crisis in Ukraine, this latest climate report emphasises global warming as a fundamental long-term threat that cannot be ignored. But the science shows it can be stopped in its tracks if humanity cuts emissions to zero. Time, though, is running out. Nick Clark, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, Al Jazeera has spoken to some people who have decided to stay in the Ukrainian cities of Kiev and Kharkiv despite being surrounded by fighting and explosions. Al Jazeera's Laura Borden-Manley reports.
An explosion on the outskirts of Kiev sends a ripple of fear through Ukraine's capital.
The situation is pretty difficult. At night, we heard constant shooting and explosions. We can occasionally hear explosions like the one you hear now.
The streets are empty. People have been told to stay indoors.
So we were urged by the authorities to stay at home in order for them to see who is on the streets and perhaps to locate and distract the diversions groups. So today the streets of Kiev are empty, the shops are closed. The shelling of Kiev continues. Actually, you see the...
Alexei stops filming as his daughter calls to ask him to go to a bomb shelter. Further east, there's been heavy fighting in the second city of Kharkiv.
I could hear the gunfires, the shellings again, and different sort of sounds of street fights on the street. People were hiding inside. This night, many families with kids will have to go down to the shelters, will have to go again to the underground and spend the night there.
The sounds of play and laughter would usually fill this nursery. Now, an unexploded grad rocket juts from the playground. And a child, too scared to say where she is in Ukraine, had this message.
I constantly hear sirens everywhere, and there's a male voice telling like to go to a shelter, hide somewhere because there can be a bomb possibly dropping. It's really scary.
A new reality on the ground, and no one knows how many more sleepless nights they'll have to endure. Laura Burden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
And finally, Medyka is one of the 8 border crossings between Poland and Ukraine. Since Thursday, tens of thousands of people fleeing the Russian bombing of Ukraine have passed through there. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
The uncertainties of war disappear briefly in such moments. Untold journeys of peril. Days spent waiting at the busiest border crossing in western Ukraine. Finally, the joy of reuniting with loved ones. Others look on, waiting for their turn, for their people to turn up next, for their chance at a warm embrace. But at the Medyka border crossing in Poland, not all tears being shed are those of joy.
We have friends who will keep us here. I got my child and I got my sister with her child too. We left our husbands at home. I cannot talk.
For many of the people we met here, the thought of what they have been forced to leave behind is unspeakable. People arriving here from Ukraine are often exhausted and overwhelmed, but there is also a great sense of relief because everyone who's coming here from Ukraine into Poland, they know that once they are here, they will have help, they will have support, and their lives are no longer in danger from Russian soldiers. Those getting through tell of lines so long, they are measured in kilometers, and delays lasting days. System crashes forcing the few Ukrainian border agents to handwrite the names of displaced people trying to leave, who now number in the thousands. And more are coming. People waiting in Poland for friends and family say the bureaucracy slowing things down is leaving vulnerable people, women, children, the elderly, out in the open.
I'm upset, I'm scared, and I have a little daughter, and I have friends in Warsaw. I need to go there, and I passed the border and I have no idea how to get there.
Their journey is not over, but Margarita and Anastasia count themselves among the lucky few who got out.
Olga! Olga! Olga!
And even with the relative chaos of makeshift aid stations along the border,
Women, children, come on!
They are better off displaced in Poland than trapped in Ukraine, where events on the ground could be the beginning of a long-term conflict and many more refugees from war in Europe. Zain Bashravi, Al Jazeera, Medyka border crossing, eastern Poland.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is it for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.